Yes, it is a time of remembrance today. Cobb County sheriff's deputies, I should say, they are gathering to memorialize two colleagues who were shot and killed in the line of duty. My colleague, Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm, has more on that shooting, which happened exactly 1 year ago today.
Invited our cameras. The sheriff's office says the killing of those deputies when they were just doing their jobs really impacted this organization. So today will be a time for them to come together as a law enforcement community and reflect. You might remember it was September 8th, 2022, when deputies Marshall Irvin Jr. and Jonathan Koleski were trying to take a man into custody at a home between Marietta and Powder Springs. That's when a different man who lived in the home, Christopher Golden, opened fire, killing both deputies. He pleaded guilty and is serving life without parole. Both deputies were married. One had 2 daughters. And at their funerals, a lot of people in the community who didn't even know the deputies lined the streets to show their respect for the men and women of law enforcement.
They wake up every day not knowing if they're coming home. I mean, these two officers just were doing their job, and they didn't come home that night.
The memorial service is scheduled for 10 o'clock this morning here at the Cobb County Adult Detention Center. It's closed to the public, but they've invited our cameras in, so we will bring you updates throughout the day. Near Marietta, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
And also want to let you know that we are watching this major story out of Fulton County Court. So a Fulton County judge is expected to release the full report from the special grand jury, which led to the indictment of these individuals who you see on your screen right now. That is the former president, Donald Trump, and 18 of his co-defendants who are all accused of conspiring to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. See very high-profile individuals on this list, including Rudy Giuliani, former Trump attorney, Sean Still, a state senator, David Schaefer, former Georgia GOP chair. So these high-profile individuals, of course, earlier this week, they had their arraignments scheduled, but they all waived. They've all entered pleas of not guilty, and we have learned that the severance motions for some of these defendants was denied, and the plan is that these individuals, at least for now, will be tried together. Trial date, at least for the first of these defendants, scheduled for October 23rd, but last week it was ruled that the full report would drop as long as there were no objections filed as of 5 p.m. Wednesday. Here's Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Just look at her. Meanwhile, we're learning that attorneys for the former president may try to move his case to federal court, which could potentially help his charges be dropped. Trump's team has notified the judge overseeing the case, and it could give them more opportunities to get the election interference charges dropped if his alleged actions were tied to formal duties as a government official. If they can prove that, it would also broaden the jury pool and likely bring in more conservative voters or jurors. Several of Trump's 18 co-defendants also trying to move their cases to federal court. Meanwhile, DA Fani Willis is blasting a U.S. congressman for what she calls unlawful and unconstitutional attempts to interfere in her prosecution of Trump and his 18 co-defendants. Her letter responds to an inquiry last month by Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio. And this is a story we're going to continue to follow. And again, that grand jury, special purpose grand jury report expected to drop at any moment now. And we are going to break this down. We're planning to have another live stream at 11:30 a.m. with an attorney, Jamara Edwards-Shipp, joining us to break down all the details of that report as soon as we can get our hands on that. Obviously, such a major story that we've been following here on Atlanta News First Plus. Hey, I want to let you know, for the animal lovers out there, the managers of DeKalb and Fulton County Animal Services are really hoping that maybe you could adopt or even just foster a dog. They really need your help. Lifeline Animal Services says 30 to 45 dogs are at risk of being euthanized each week because of astronomically high intake numbers. 30 to 45 dogs each week at risk of being euthanized. It says DeKalb Shelter has more than 650 dogs in it, the most ever. Excuse me for sneezing. I'm so sorry. They need to find homes for at least 250 by September 14th. In Fulton County, Lifeline says it's caring for 460 dogs, says 10 to 15 of the dogs may be euthanized because of lack of space. Really sad situation. DeKalb, Fulton, and Midtown shelters are all open from 11 to 7 p.m. today. If you are interested in stopping by, seeing how you can help out, even just, fostering or even spending some time with the dogs, I think they've said is a very big help for them. Okay, let's turn to a look at the forecast. Looks like there is something brewing out there in the ocean. His name is Lee. This guy's name is meteorologist Rodney Harris. Well, tell us about that, about Lee.
Yeah, good morning to you, Joy. Happy Friday, everybody. So we've been talking about Lee all week, even before it developed, and now we have Hurricane Lee, which became a Category 5 hurricane last night. For perspective, that is the highest category we have. Winds are at 165 miles per hour. The only good news about Lee is that it's still basically not really impacting anybody. It's just east of the Caribbean islands, and it will be moving northwest. It's going to miss the Caribbean barely, but that's certainly good news considering how strong Lee is. So yes, Lee is a major Category 5 hurricane, but not impacting anybody. However, here's the forecast for Lee. Again, it will miss the Caribbean. It will turn toward the north and east eventually. At this point, it will miss Metro Atlanta. It will miss the southeast U.S. So this won't be a concern for us, but I do want to take you to our spaghetti models, which will go out a little bit further than the official forecast. And as you can see, those models do have it tracking very close to the northeastern U.S. This is by the end of next week. We don't think this is going to directly impact the U.S. It's not going to be like a landfall in the U.S., we don't believe. However, it may be close enough to the northeastern U.S. to where there's some kind of an impact by the end of next week. So that's something we're going to watch for you very carefully. Again, not an issue this weekend, but by the end of next week, it's going to get dangerously close to the northeastern U.S. A major Category 5 hurricane out there in the Atlantic right now. As we bring you a little bit closer to home, before we do that, I do want to remind you we have 14 storms so far this season in the Atlantic. That is average. So any additional storm, we would technically be above average. Of those 14 storms, 4 of those storms have become hurricanes, and 3 of those have become major hurricanes, including Lee, which is a Category 3 hurricane or stronger. That's what's considered major. So here is what you can expect today. We actually have a pretty interesting setup. So we had a cool front that moved through yesterday, so that's why it's so nice today, because that cool front is south of us. So we're seeing mostly sunny skies right now, but over the weekend, specifically on Saturday, an area of low pressure will develop along that front, which will be just south of us, and that will bring that rain back north to Metro Atlanta and North Georgia on Saturday. So we have increased your rain chances to about 40% for Saturday afternoon and evening. So watch out for that if you have any Saturday plans. We are not forecasting any severe weather, but we are expecting showers to develop Saturday afternoon, maybe even some storms by Saturday evening. So here is your high-resolution forecast model. Today we're in great shape, mostly sunny skies. Saturday morning, if you have any plans, we're in great shape, no issues there. Notice by Saturday afternoon, look at that, we got showers developing by Saturday night, maybe even some storms. So Saturday is a first alert specifically for the afternoon and evening with scattered storms out there, so watch out for that. Again, no severe weather, but definitely something that could impact your plans, especially if you have anything going on Saturday evening. So here is Atlanta's most accurate forecast. 87 today, just about a picture-perfect day today. A first alert for those scattered showers and storms, mainly Saturday evening, but as early as Saturday afternoon. And then for Sunday, we'll continue to see some spotty showers, but the coverage will be a little bit lower on Sunday. So Sunday is not a first alert. Highs are going to stay in the 80s the entire weekend. In fact, highs are going to stay in the 80s for the next 7 days. Monday is another dry day, and then we will get another cool front that'll move through. Looks like it'll give us our next best chance of rain Wednesday going into early Thursday morning. So that's what we're looking like in terms of our forecast here over the next several days. I'm going to bring myself up. Again, happy Friday, everybody. Today is spectacular, so we hope that you get out there and enjoy today again on Saturday. It's the first alert, unfortunately. No severe weather, but scattered showers will be out there and maybe even some storms Saturday evening. So if you have any plans, just make sure and have that umbrella ready to rock and roll. And, of course, we'll be here keeping you up to date on this forecast in the First Alert Weather app and on Atlanta News First. We hope you have an amazing weekend, and until next time, we'll see you soon.